Welcome to the Magical Medicals podcast. I'm your host, Buddy Abrahams.
And I'm Terry Allen.
A show about the moments that changed people's lives forever. Welcome to the Magical Medicals podcast. I'm your host, Buddy Abrahams.
And I'm Terry Allen.
And today we've got a fantastic, wonderful guest today, which is one of Terry's friends, actually.
Yes, so welcome, Manal, darling. Nice to see
Hi.
you. How many years is it that we haven't?
Probably about 5, 6 since you left Dubai. Maybe 5 years, is it? 6?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. Okay, yeah. So since you left.
So I just want to quickly tell people that, how did I meet you now? I can't remember.
We actually met at an event.
Oh.
Yeah, you were doing the children's book. You were promoting the book. And then I met you and this other lovely lady, and then I took your details, and then I came and saw you a few times to do the crystal bed healing, which I loved, and that's how I got to meet. Yeah, so that's how we met.
Yeah, it's like we've known each other quite a long time.
Yeah.
And Manal is from Australia, and she's also a celebrity spray tanner, so she's done quite a few celebrities in Dubai and in London. But we actually connected lately because I think you sent me a message on Instagram and I didn't realise I wasn't following you back. So I don't know, I thought I was. But anyway, so then after chatting and then I wanted to tell people that, you know, I always ask the angels who to ask to come on next, and then your name kept coming. I thought, okay, let me just ask her. And then you said you had this
profound experience.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, and even the way you asked me, because we've known each other for some time in Dubai, but then we didn't see each other for a long time, and we didn't even speak to each other for some period, you know. And then just recently we started chatting on Instagram again, and just how's things, and just normal conversation. And then out of nowhere, you say to me, "Can I ask you, have you had any miracles?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why are you asking?" And you said, "Because I've had, you know, a message." And I was like a bit blown away by that, because I felt, I didn't know you were doing the podcast then. And then as we were talking the past 2 weeks, I was looking at the podcast going, wow, I've got a bit of a miracle story to share, but I didn't say anything. And you just randomly asked me that question, and that kind of blew me away. So yeah, it's very interesting. I think that's another sign.
I think also it's a big sign. And when you ask, and I think I was typing and working on something else at Children's Foundation, and then your name kept coming in, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to ask, you know, at that moment in time. So thank you for coming on here. You know, like I like to tell everybody, I know a tiny bit because you shared a tiny bit with me, but we don't really know your story fully.
Yeah.
And so we like it to just go with you organically while we're recording. So we're going to give the floor to you. So
all right. Well, thank you for having me. Thank the angels. Yeah, maybe there is a nice message to share out there to some people.
Always, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's why I believe in miracles. I believe in the power of prayer. And when negative things happen in your life, sometimes they turn out a positive, you know, because it gives you that strength. And I think this is what's happened to me and my partner. So I've been living in Dubai for 10 years. And I was living with my partner back in Dubai 2020, just after we had the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff. And it was July 2020. At that time, we're out with his family. He's got 2 beautiful children. We had a beautiful, beautiful evening together out in Dubai Mall, dinners, and, you know, just nice family time. We get home at it was a Saturday evening. I think it was the 20th of July. It was the 4th of July, sometime in July. And we had a knock on the door. That knock on the door is what changed our life. So it turns out to be the CID. We had about 14 undercover CID just sort of barging into our apartment. It was quite horrific, quite traumatic. There was no explanation. No one knew what was going on. And it was just, oh my God, what is going on? You know, it was scary. It was horrific. The kids were there. They got to see everything. And there was no knock on the door. Hey, how you do? You know, like, this is who we are. And we just have a few questions. There was nothing like that. And oh God, my heart races even when I think about it. But yeah, it was just full on. That night was just traumatic. They took Liam away. There was a few accusations on him of just like smoking weed and stuff. And in Dubai, it's totally illegal. But it wasn't even bad. So, and there was no weed, but they still took him anyway. And that's what they do. So in Dubai, as you know what Dubai is like,
Yeah.
proven, you got to prove your innocence. You know, you stay in jail. You're guilty till you're proven innocent. So that's how it works over there. So it was just traumatizing because everything was working for us. We've just moved in our apartment, January that year, fully furnished the apartment. We were so happy with the family. Everything was just going so perfect. And then this one traumatic event happened. And then it went from there. So the first 2-3 months was quite hard, very difficult, just to kind of understand what's going on because we still weren't getting the right answers or information. No one knew what was going on.
You were still in prison, you were still in the house, and you still nobody explained anything.
Nobody explained anything. They just said, "Oh, he's wanted for, he's accused for having weed on him," right? And that's all it was, an accusation. So I'm like, "Hey, there's no weed in the house. There's no weed on us. We're not carrying weed. And so, what is the story?"
I don't think I ever heard anyone selling or doing. I'm sure.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it just went on from there, and then oh God, and no one can explain anything.
That night when they came and knocked at the door, they just took him.
Yeah. So what they did, they got the security guard of the building to come upstairs and knock on the door because it was quite late. We were like, "Who's that? Who's coming now?" No one really comes over at that time on Saturday evening. So when Liam looked out the door, the peephole, it was a security guard. So he thought it's okay to open the door. But that's when they just barged the door open and they all just came in. And yeah. No warrant, no nothing. Like, I mean, I don't know. They've got a different system. You know, you live there. Dubai is a beautiful place. We loved it. It's given me, it's done a lot for me. But however, they've got different rules and different regulations. It's not like the Western world, you know? So, but we didn't know that at the time. So,
what was going through your mind at the time?
Sorry?
What was going through your mind at the time?
Oh my God, just so scared. Just like, what is happening? Just so in shock. I was just in shock. Total shock. Couldn't sleep. Went down the next morning. No one had answers for me. They're like, "Oh, look, you know what? There's investigation going on," and so on. So we just had to wait patiently. And time just went on, you know, then we had to wait for the court cases and so on. So time just goes on. We just thought, all right, what are we going to do now? So I had to sell all the furniture in the house because no one gave me a date. Sold everything. I moved to a hotel. Kids went back to their moms. And that's when I delved into more spiritual work. So I thought, what am I going to do here? Because it was heavy. It was traumatic. I was driving left, right, and center, going to all the prosecution, trying to get information. And it was just exhausting. You know, I had amazing help from family and friends. Beautiful. So much support, which was needed at that time. But yeah, I think what helped me the most was the prayers. And I think that's what this whole podcast is about, the power of prayers and the magic of prayers. So yeah, I delved into spiritual work, did a lot of breath work. I did some ice baths, holotropic breathing with my friend Yelena. She held a beautiful sacred space for women every full moon. Yeah. And we'd have like cacao to open the ceremony. We would pray, we'd pray a lot. We'd set out intentions. So throughout, it took 11 months, by the way, before he was released. So this 11 months journey turns out to be our journey. So I grew
space for him while he was inside.
That's what she was doing.
Yeah. So while he was growing inside, I was growing. So the first 3 months was traumatic. When we let that go, I let that go, he let that go. We're still together and supporting each other, but we let go of the whole, okay, it is what it is. And let's just go with the flow and see, you know what I mean? Let's just go with it. Because it was just too much, you know.
Were you allowed to see him?
No visits at all.
You couldn't talk to him, nothing?
Only phone calls. And the first 6 months, because he's in one particular prison, the phone calls were shocking, and he always has to line up. So I had to keep the phone with me nonstop. Like my phone was glued to me. I'd be spraying my clients and I'd answer the call and I'm spray tanning like this because I knew I can't call him back and he can't call me again. So it was like I was there 100% to support him. That doesn't matter what time, how, I was always there trying to, just be there for him, and he was also quite strong. So we're just there for each other, and yeah, so yeah, we continued the journey. I kept doing, I started to pray a lot heavier, a lot more. I've always been into prayers and meditation, but I found this time it's like I needed this the most, and I needed my own space. So I did everything I could. I listened to beautiful mantras, high vibrational music. I just surrounded myself with all that kind of vibration. And then we got to so about May last year, where are we in 2022? My God, May 2021. I remember by this time, so I've done every month, I've done some healing work with Elena.
Right.
I started to feel so much better about myself, very strong, very powerful, back in my power. Liam felt really good. At one point, he even said to me, babe, I don't know what's going on. He goes, but I feel the happiest I've ever felt.
Oh, interesting.
In my life, yeah.
Why do you think he felt the happiest he ever felt? What
Because he understood the power of going within. And he had no distractions from the outside world.
He was within himself. Yeah.
He had so much time to go within. I even got him 2 beautiful books. Have you heard of Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer?
Yes.
You have that book.
Beautiful book, yeah. He read that book, and that came at the right time for him. That really helped him. And also Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yes, I've heard of that.
These 2 books, I was so glad to get them in because it was a little bit difficult. Everything's a mission, you know that.
Yeah.
They eventually got in, and he was able to read those books. They really did help him and give him more strength. And I guess that's where I think just both of us, we're like a parallel. We weren't together physically, but parallel spiritually we were.
Well, you don't have to be together really, do you? Because you are a soul that can. So you lifted yourselves out to connect, to move into a different vibration.
Correct.
Good that you gave it so you could pick up the energy that you were working on and what you were doing.
Yeah. And the more strength, So when I heard him say that, I felt good. I was like, oh, thank God, because I just want him to be in a good place until we know when this blows over, when we're able to leave or what was going on. So, and then what happened about in May, I started to assist my friend Elena at her, in the women's circle. So I was assisting her in this particular session. It was around May. And one of the girls didn't show up. And she said, do you know what, Manal, this is your spot. You take this spot tonight. And I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another session tonight. And they're quite intense, her sessions. We do that breath work, the holotropic breathing that we do. I'm not sure if you've ever tried it.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's intense, isn't it? Yeah. So I set my intention was for him to be released, right? So for the whole year was about me and getting stronger and getting into my power. So spiritually, I'm a lot stronger, physically, mentally, and everything. This time, my intention was for him to be released. Yeah. That was my last session over there. With my beautiful Elena, and then another client of mine / friend. She's a psychotherapist. She works. She's like a life coach in Dubai. Her name is Belly Harding. She works with a lot of women, and she's got a women's circle where, again, they're really heavy into their prayers. Like they know the power of prayer. And she just randomly said, a lot of my clients knew my situation, a lot of my friends. And she said to me, may we have Liam's name so that we can pray on him? And I said, yes, please. I would love that, because any prayer is a good prayer, right? Especially when it's coming from the right intention and the right heart.
Yeah.
And so she also did a prayer for us. So 3 weeks later, I said, now we're in June. I randomly get a phone call from the embassy. And she says to me, look, I got a call from the Abu Dhabi jail and they're telling me that he can leave. Okay, mind you, he's still got a case hearing to go to court the following week, or like 2 weeks later. Yeah. And I said, that's interesting. I said, that's strange because he still has a court hearing. She goes, I don't know what's going on. She goes, I haven't seen this before. She goes, just book his tickets. I was like, I'm booking his tickets. She goes, just wait for his phone call tomorrow. He's going to call you. I said, okay. My heart was racing. I'm like, what is going on? This is unusual. Next thing we know, he calls me Wednesday. He goes, babe, I don't know what's going on. I just booked my tickets. They keep saying I can leave. And he said to them, but I have a case. And they're like, no, you don't. You're still cleared from the system. His name is not even on the system. He doesn't exist. They're like, you can go.
Wow.
And just like that, I remember I had 2 hours. It was a Wednesday afternoon. I was working with clients going, I'm driving around everywhere in Dubai. And I was like, oh my God, arranged his tickets, sent them down to the jail, spoke to the head of the jail, and I said, do you mind, can I book his tickets to Greece? Because it was all COVID, everything was closed, right? We had to go through the amber list and all this sort of thing, nonsense was going on. And he said, as long as it's okay with the embassy, you can go. I thought, all right, done. So we booked his flight to Greece. So this was Wednesday, booked the flights for Saturday. So it was 3 days of just like anxiety. Like, this is weird. This is too good to be true. And I haven't said anything. I've told maybe 3 or 4 people, like close friends, but I couldn't say nothing. I didn't even tell the lawyer.
Yeah.
The lawyer didn't even know. Because you know what Dubai's like, right? We're like, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. Then, yep, Saturday come. I wasn't able to speak to Liam. Wednesday was the last time. Saturday he messaged me. So his phone was on and he was at the airport and he's getting on the flight to Greece. It was all happening. And I was like, oh my God, like that was unbelievable. And I said, Matt, if you get called for that case hearing the following week, then we know this is an absolute miracle because you've just been released.
Yeah.
Accidentally, right?
Yeah.
So again, I go to Greece the following day. We meet, we connect, of course, reunite. After 11 months, we haven't seen each other. So it was a beautiful place to reunite. And it came a few days later. It was a Tuesday. There was a court hearing and he calls the lawyer, right? Lawyer doesn't know he's out yet. He calls the lawyer and he has a chat and he tells the lawyer he's calling on behalf of Liam. And he's going on, oh yeah, Liam was in court today, but he had some technical issues. He couldn't be there physically or something. I even have the recording. But yes, we're like, Liam's like, are you sure it was Liam? He goes, yes, I'm sure. And he goes, look, he started praying. I will send you the voice later so you can kind of understand where we're at. And then he just says
voice message, but was Liam, but got a voice message. Weird, yeah. That's like massive intervention. Like
so the lawyer thinks he was in court. Imagine. He thinks he was in court.
The lawyer wasn't in court.
Sorry?
The lawyer wasn't with him in court.
No. Well, he said he was there because everything was done by Zoom, by the way.
Right?
It's changed. And he said, he wasn't there physically, Liam, but he was there. His dad had a technical issue. So I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, oh my gosh, he doesn't even know Liam's out. And apparently, the other guys that are on the same case, they were able to call Liam later on. They said, listen, the judge was calling for you. They were calling you for the hearing. And Liam's like, I don't know what happened. I actually don't know. I'm not there. And from then on, we said, this is divine intervention because he's still called to court. This is unbelievable. And then when I said, look, I did some like prayer work, same as my friends, same as his mom's family, all our family of friends. So did he. He has some friends in there doing some prayers for him. So in the end, it was the power of our energies that we don't know. Until now, we don't know what happened. It's still a mystery.
Well,
it's still a mystery.
But to me, I think that definitely because you were praying from one side and he was lifting his energy from the other side, you allowed, and also you handed the situation over to the divine, the angels, whoever.
Yeah.
You handed the whole situation. And so you have control about you don't there anyway. You don't in that situation anyway. So you fully released and let go of the attachment. So it allowed then for the spirit, the energy spirit of the divine and create their miracles, which we've seen multiple of times and heard multiple of times from other people. And you can't ever work it out because it's not of this earth plane, but because you've lifted yourself to a completely different vibration. And Liam, that they could allow you to come through because you let go and you had faith and thought, well, we'll just let it all go because nothing we can do. So,
absolutely. It's surrender.
I mean, that is like a massive miracle story to think that he was there and they released him and the spirit stepped in on so many platforms. And how did Liam feel about that? How did he feel emotionally? Because I know from our past experiences or even my own past experience that when the divine and that energy is stepped in, there's an overwhelming, feeling of love and gratitude and just wow,
You
like
nailed it. It's exactly how we felt. Exactly that. Overwhelmed, so grateful. He's so congruent now. He's so like everything is just, he's so in alignment and everything seems to be flowing. Ever since then, you can't go back because you're like,
you
oh my
shift
God.
Shifted energy, vibration.
And also, I think
Beautiful.
you're being looked over and looked after all the time. If that makes sense, like
Yeah.
we're down here on this earth plane, and I think that people don't realise we're looked after and protected and safe if we ask for it and get in that alignment. Then we can receive.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I want to tell people. People say, "How did you do it?" And I had so much strength, and I loved it.
Ask you a question. Did you? I mean, obviously he was inside, so there was, no negativity coming at him from any sources because he didn't really have, I know no TV. I know what the prison's like there, but I've been in there. But I know another friend that was in there. But did you find that you held a vibration of just seeing him getting released, or did you just ask a God or the divine for a miracle for him to be released, or show us a way out? And did you just keep that vibration? Whereas you didn't go to anything negative. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I kept it. No, it was just more positive. Yeah, just for guidance, for strength, mainly for the release, for a new chapter in life, and for help, and for guidance.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened? I'm interested in the story. Sorry. So what happened when you were in Greece with regards to after that phone call? How did both of you feel? I mean,
You can imagine, just overwhelmed, excited, happy, feeling connected. We were so grateful. We knew there was something special. We knew the divine. We just knew we were protected and guided. It was beautiful. And ever since then till now, it has been miraculous. It's just been.
How long were you in Greece before you went to the UK?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't come straight to the UK. Well, I couldn't come straight to the UK because they weren't allowing non-UK residents to come in at that time because of COVID. And we wanted to be together.
Yeah.
And so we asked if you can go to Greece. Again, that was another miracle because usually you have to go directly to your country when you leave the prison. But he allowed it. But through that time, now when I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, I did have a few miracles in between, people kind of helping. Even the staff working there, I'd always end up having people to help. I was quite persistent and annoying. I was in everyone's face. Yeah.
So were you staying in a hotel in Greece or in an apartment?
No, in a hotel. We stayed for about 2 weeks. Yeah, we're just in a little hotel. Yeah. We had to do the 10 days, didn't we, before we entered the UK because we had to hit Amber List. That's why. Yeah. Otherwise, we would have come straight to the UK, but it wasn't open at the time.
And
so the reunion was
the UK, and just
that was it then.
Where did you go to when you went to the UK?
Straight to London. We're in London. Yeah, straight to his family's home.
Any family there for you guys, or did you go?
Yeah, Liam's family's all here. Yeah, he's got an amazing mum, and my mother-in-law is just beautiful. Yeah, her every day she was supporting me, and she's like, day by day, Manal. That's her. That's her beautiful phrase. Take it day by day. Everything day by day. And I honestly believe in the power of prayer. I had my rituals every morning, and raising the vibration and the frequency is very important. Even listening to certain music raises your vibration, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love more of that. I don't even know what today's hits are. I'm always listening to my spiritual tracks because they elevate me and I feel it. And through that process, I felt the elevation. And then the miracle that had happened to us, I'm like, man, it's too beautiful. Like, I want more of it,
Yeah. When you get it,
you just want more. Yeah, like
time. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And how have you? So you guys are in London now, and you've got your own place and everything. And how have you? What's the word I'm looking for? Like going forward, have you use that energy to inspire others? I mean, okay, let's have another question. So let's just say, for anyone listening now, actually, it's funny that you're on today because we have another friend in Dubai that's got a problem. And she messaged us this morning.
In Dubai?
Yeah. So And I think there was probably quite a lot going on in 2020, couldn't pay their rent or whatever, situation. So
Yeah.
if you have any messages for that, anyone at this time, anywhere in the world, what would the tips be? What would the steps be for you to advise them? Because you can speak from your experience.
Yeah, definitely work on yourself, number one, because you need to fill your cup and you need to have that strength. And that comes through raising your vibrations, especially prayer. Find a ritual, listen to mantras, find groups.
Yeah.
Find groups. Like I found my women's circle. That was my tribe. That elevated me, and I spent a lot of time with feminine energy as well in that year.
Pray, and and that group, also the help comes. Like you're praying to God and the angels, like, what's going on? Please help me. And then something opens up, like your circle, and you went. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, things something will always open for you.
Always.
Always. Like even she'll call me at the right time, the right place. Like, how did you know? Like there's always a synchronicity, a connection. Once you make that decision, first you got to let go. You got to surrender. That's really important, because if you're holding on to that, the energy, it's you're stuck. When you release all that and just get into that self-care, self-love, the power, the prayers, I really I would say just honestly pray, whatever it takes. Sit outside. Now I understood. I was watching a podcast with Russell Brand and Eckhart Tolle, and then I think Russell Brand's like, so what do you do for fun? And Eckhart Tolle's like, I sit outside listening to the trees and bird, and that's my fun.
Yeah, that's me.
But now I get it.
I know people see what you do, and us, walking nature, talking to the trees, listening to the birds, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just not anything like what it is. But another question is, looking back, why do you think Liam attracted you guys into your life?
So again, because once he read the book, Joe Dispenza, it starts off with, what if the worst thing that happened to you turns out to be the best thing that happens to you? And that's what Liam said to me, because, babe, this is the worst thing that happened to me, but I think it's meant to happen to me, and it's the best thing that's happened to me. So we think it's probably part of his journey and both our journey, and what it's done for us as a relationship has made us a lot more stronger, like really stronger, mentally, spiritually, physically. Like we're just a lot more.
Was he not in that place when he was arrested? Was he in a different? I
think
to have that come in, but
probably. I mean, everything seemed to be going fine. We were going through that COVID period, and there was it got a bit difficult at that time. So I think there were a few difficulties, and I do believe that this was meant to happen for a new life and a new change. And being in Dubai, I believe he just needed to get out of Dubai. It was just one of those.
But was he done at the time this happened? Was he ready to leave?
Was he ready to leave at that? Yeah.
Kind of ish. I was, if anything, I was in my back of my mind. I was always like, I really would love to move or go somewhere else, And I did used to say that to him. So I think there's a big shift there. And I think even as a relation, I think as a relationship, he was always beautiful to me, but he's different now. He's just so much more congruent. The love is deeper. It's just more of a sacred, deep union. Like it's so different.
It's solid.
It's solid. It is solid.
Yeah. Our soul, when we come down here, we all know that the babies remember, but once you get growing, we forget everything.
Yeah.
And certain things happen. So when this beautiful energy comes into your life, you're like, whoa, your soul gets that spark, as if to say, oh shit, now I know why I'm here. Now I know who I am, who I'm connected to. And it just has that profound awakening of that most powerful energy that we come from, that powerful light, the power that we have within ourselves. And I think a lot of people forget that, and we forget it when we're here.
Yeah.
And when those moments come, you think, my God, I am not alone. They're looking over me all the time.
Yeah.
And the power of my mind and my heart and my vibration is so powerful than anything else, anything that's going on. is that miracle. And if we all came together at this time that this crap is still going on,
Yeah.
you know, just visualize and put that love out and see the world a better place and see Mother Nature abundant and see us in communities and seeing each other help each other. And that's the key. That is the way to shift us out of that fear of what's going on with this pandemic into that new world of what we want, community, help. Because like you said, and the same for us, we were always embraced in a community or with groups of people that helped you at that time.
I so believe that's what helped. It's
powerful collective, but it actually can be one person's mind powerful as well. And
yes,
like you said, in the same room. So it can be one person or a group of people meditating, changing our planet all the time and putting it out there, not, fear, I'll go over this, I can't do that. And that's where the news keeps you in that low vibration.
Correct.
Of lifting yourself out, seeing a new world, not that the world's this and it's this and it's this, that. No. Yeah. If you just see, it will present itself.
100%. Yeah.
I think that's the power of the message that's coming across here, I think, for you guys.
Correct. Yep.
Is that
community, vibrance, love is
high vibration, but also that you knew your guides came to you ASAP. Yeah,
they were there. No. Yeah, and you know what? So mad because I love seeing numbers.
Extra, by the way.
It was all planned.
That was not just a couple of guys.
Correct.
That's like a huge orchestra.
Yeah, huge, right?
Beings.
Yeah.
And
it was Friday. When was it? Saturday I knew he was leaving. Friday I was seeing 9999 everywhere. And I know what that means. End of a cycle, beginning of a new one. And I was like, oh, thanks, guys. And I would cry.
You know, the Holy Trinity, 3 is in the 9, 369.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I was seeing 9 a lot, a lot. And even his mum had she had this dream that her father, which is Liam's granddad, she had a dream that same time we found out he was going to be released. I think the day before, she had this dream that granddad gave his wedding ring and passed it to his brother in Dubai. But she said it was significant. That dream felt significant and quite special. And the next day we heard the news. So it was like another sign. But we knew, because what happened, again, that same period, remember that back in May, it was almost the toughest month, but we knew something's going on here, because when they shifted him from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, right, we didn't know what was going on. So we thought, why is he going to Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, it's weird.
This is really strange. But when they shift you, they put you in this a small room. It's called Sinzana, and it's just like a small, tiny room. There's nothing in there except a toilet, and you're by yourself. He was there for like 6 or 7 days, by himself with nothing, just a small, like a tiny room. And I think it's all COVID regulations, and I don't know, that's what they were saying. That 7 days we couldn't talk. He had no phone, nothing. It was just locked in a room for 7 days.
So
that 7 days, something happened there then, because when he came out, the energy when he was able to call me, I was buzzing through his energy. And I said, something, babe, I don't know what's going to go on. Something's happening here. I said, this is good. You went through hell for a week. Okay, but something is going to happen, because I felt this strong energy through my body.
I agree. And also he was contained from anything else.
Correct.
A bit like when we used to go to Brazil and you had your healing and you stayed in your room for 24 hours without anyone. Nothing. You can have nothing.
So yeah.
I mean, I didn't do 6 days.
But there's no distraction with the world. You're not on social media. There's no TV. There's no people.
You went through probably a cleanse.
And they can reach you.
Correct.
They can heal you. They can get in that alignment with you, because you don't.
I'm getting goosebumps as I'm telling you this. Because that energy to come through, they had to move him out of that environment where he was in, to cleanse him, but also to align him for everything else to be aligned and to move.
You see, and that's when the miracle happened. It was after that.
Yeah.
So it's mind-blowing.
Dubai is not very great with paperwork, so they must have missed this paperwork or something when they're transferring from one place to the other, and that's what happened. So that whole portal just kind of just sucked it in, and that's when it happened.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's actually
Yeah, isn't it? Maybe sometime we'll have him on the podcast. Next time we can have ask him his journey when he's when he's ready at the right time.
I think so. I think because he's going to have a different
perspective.
Well, he was in
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going from my side and what I did to overcome it.
conversation with God, let's say.
Yes.
Yeah.
The conversation with God.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
well,
interesting.
thank you so much for sharing, darling. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for your tips and your helps and an amazing miracle, really. Amazing.
Yeah, and I'm just so blessed. Thank you so much for letting me share the story. And if there is anyone out there that's going through the same thing, just
Yes,
have faith.
contact. If anyone's going through anything, we will put Manal's details
Yeah,
on everything anyway.
have a chat to me. Happy to have a chat.
If anyone wants any help or anything more, then please do to us or Manal. And we're happy to assist or help anybody.
Happy to share, honestly. Yeah.
Podcast is all about. It's not to get anything. It's just basically for us. We would like you, divinely guided into doing something and giving something back during a period of time that was a bit dark. And so this is all about us just giving back, helping, sharing. Even if it just saves one person's life, so changes one person's life, then that changes many.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key thing. And
That is
so great that there was a meaning for you to come into our lives, back into my life as well at this time. And because I was in December and I was home a month, I didn't even bloody know you were there. Otherwise,
I know. Imagine we could have. Yeah. You see, it's all about the timing. It was no accident. Again, there's no accident about us.
Timing when to share and
And we'd love to do that. We also we'd like to. Liam can sing. He's got a beautiful voice, so we want to start to do some singing bowls and learning the bowls.
So I think pass that energy on, and that's others.
Yeah.
Whatever gift, the miracle you've been given is pass that on to someone else.
Correct. If you can share that back and help others. Sometimes this is why we go through the things in life that we have been through. So in the end, it's a gift, right? So strange as it sounds, but it is.
Well, thank you so much, my love.
Thank you so much,
It's
Manal.
Thank
amazing.
you for having me.
So much.
All right.
Please feel free to get in contact with us at info@themagicalmedicalspodcast. That's info@themagicalmedicalspodcast.com. Thank you so much for joining us today.